Clothing. Let's talk about clothing. For those of you that are joining us for the recording, this is part two. For part two, I just realized the recording is limited to 2 hours. Part one is going to be uploaded. This is part two. We're talking about the profile PFP, the farmer, and we're looking at clothing. So each farmer will have its own unique address on the blockchain where you can send tools, clothing, and other in game boosts. When a token is sent to the character, it will be soul bound. You can send multiple items to a farmer's inventory, but only one type of item can be applied at a time. For instance, a character can only wear one hat at a time. The other hats would stay in the inventory, so you can choose what to wear. Now, the idea about this is that we want to promote a healthy. Okay, I want you to understand about the experience side of things, okay? We want to promote a healthy ecology in the game where a farmer's gain experience is then implemented with the game breaking and innovative manner, okay? Instead of earning experience for performing in game tasks, you must cook and feed your character food to gain the experience. This means that players must burn the game resources if they want to advance their player and learn new skills. All right, let me just repeat this. Okay. Inside the game, the farmers are going to gain experience, okay? And it's going to be implemented with this game breaking and innovative manner. Instead of earning experience by performing in game tasks, you must cook and feed your character food to gain experience. Okay? Let me just repeat that one last time. You will need to feed your characters in order for them to get experience. I will reiterate what disincentivized is multi-accounts, but I'll do that later because I kind of want to get through this, but I will go back through that. So, in order to be able to progress your character, you will need to feed them, okay? You will need stamina, which is water. So the more they drink, the more the actions they can perform. But obviously, you can't overdrink them because they'll drown. So there's a limit. And in order to progress, you'll need to feed them. Seriously thinking the in-game farmer needs coffee instead of water, please use coffee terms of stamina. Well, coffee, the concept of coffee, because you'll need coffee beans, and when you farm your coffee beans, you'll then be able to create your coffee building where you'll be able to make your coffee. And the idea is that coffee would give you both XP and stamina. The idea is that coffee would give you both. And this has been around since the starting concept because you can give a coffee to the homeless person, right? So this is definitely something to consider as we move forward. Now, normally what would happen inside the game is you would do an action in the game and that action would give you experience. However, what we're talking about, in order to be able to level up your profile, you would need to eat. Okay? There's a lot of concepts of Million on Mars and a lot of concepts for ourselves. We've definitely taken some inspiration from them, but I wouldn't say we're copying them because a lot of this stuff we've already had in the pipeline for a long time. So a lot of this stuff we've already been working on. They're two different concepts of games, but they're similar. And that's why we partnered with them. And that's why I love them both, because they're doing very different things, but there's a lot of similarities. So we're doing our own thing. We're not copying them, but definitely like the idea. And we're not going to go down this complex skill tree system that they're going down. Ours is going to be a lot more simple and a lot more fun. Whereas theirs is a lot more technical and a lot more for the analytical type of people. I think we're not copying them. There's definitely inspiration, but there's inspiration from lots of games. We've taken inspiration from Stardew Valley. We've taken inspiration from, like you said, we've taken inspiration from Rust. We've taken inspiration from Dota. We've taken inspiration from many, many different types of games from World of Warcraft. Lots of different games, lots and lots and lots of different types of games. In fact, one game that I've been playing recently that Adam introduced me to play, which is another one, is called Tiny Island Survival. There's just lots of different ideas. So the idea is to take something, say, hey, that's a really cool concept, and then build it out ourselves. Now, what we're talking about here, and I really want to I'm going to go through this one more time to promote, okay, a healthy ecology in the game. Farmers gain experience. Farmers gaining experience is implemented with game breaking and innovative manners. Okay, instead of earning experience by performing in game tasks, you must cook and feed your character food to gain experience. This means players must burn game resources if they wish to advance their player and learn new skills. The flow on effect is an increase of in game sinks and a great combat against inflation or resources. A player must toil between wanting to short term cash out resources or feed them to a character for long term gains. The source of food will be mainly crops and animal goods. Okay? Okay? Now let's look at water, stamina. Farmers are thirsty and require water to perform actions. As you progress, your farmer will be able to increase their water levels and thus perform more farming actions. This means a player must feed and improve their character if they wish to collect more resources. This places a balance in the gameplay loop where players must burn resources before powering forward. So now we've got two different concepts. We've got the experience and we've got the stamina. So let's have a look at the farmer gameplay loop. Okay, nice simple loop for you. The following gameplay loop explores the core progression system for improving a farmer. A player must balance decisions between earning SFL or reinvesting produce to upgrade their farmer. A player must decide between burning resources to improve farmer water levels and farming capabilities, crafting an item with resources to send to a farmer to increase farming capabilities, or cashing out SFL. To have an efficient farm, players must strategically balance these decisions. Do you look for your small, short term gains or larger, long term ROI? Okay, so this is an example, and I'm going to post this image out. You have a farmer creates produce. That produce can be used as food to feed the player to increase the farming or the stamina. Okay? Or the other option is that the produce can be then sold for SFL. Now you have two options. Do you cash out that SFL or do you use it to craft an item or upgrade a building to send back to the farmer, which increases their farming? So this is a simple gameplay loop here that builds into that more detailed gameplay loop that we looked at before. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. So now you've got choices to make and you can understand how we start to build out this economy. Does that make sense? Does everybody understand the farmer profile picture that we've talked about? Different hats, different clothing, a lot of different things to consider. And again, this goes back to this. I posted this earlier. All right. If everybody understands and everyone's happy, one area of progression that you're going to have is going to be your farmer. And they'll get to a point with land expansion where you won't be able to expand unless you've got a certain level farmer. So you'll have to, they'll tie hand in hand. Now, you can sell your farmer profile picture if you want to. The idea behind this is that you should be able to level up your farmer and then sell that to a new player who doesn't want to go through the grind. If somebody does not want to experience the leveling up of a farmer, or let's say that you're very lucky and you are fortunate enough to acquire some very rare items, some very limited edition items, then you might be able to, you might be in a position to sell those farmer profile pictures with those items, or even just sell the items on their own, but you'll be able to sell them together. So if you've got your farmer or your goblin profile picture, there will be a marketplace for these. There'll be a marketplace for these. I think that there will be a Steve Farmer. I think there'll be an Adam Farmer and a Romy Farmer. I think that would be a cool thing to do. I like the idea of that. But I think as well that these characters are going to be um, universal, like a Mr. Beast farmer, right? Maybe we'll do like an Elon Musk farmer, and then we'll pitch it to him, or maybe not him. Maybe we'll find some proper like some better people, actual farmers. Like board farmer yacht club. You get the idea. There's a lot of ways we can go with this, all right? All right, so we've talked about the farmer. Let's talk about land. I want to move on to land. Okay, so land. Expanding land is one of the core gameplay elements in Sunflower Land. Expanding land enables players to discover more resources, increase their farming operations, uncover lore, and build their empire. Okay, let's look at the concept design. A farmer begins with a small square of land in a vast ocean. The goal is simple: gather resources and expand your land. As players progress, they will discover new resources and be able to gather, build, and collect more. Each piece of land will be a unique NFT that has a different resource. This means every person's farming empire will be different. The core requirements for expanding land are the neutral resources. The natural resources that reside on the land, which includes wood, stone, iron, gold, etc. Let's look at the attributes. Natural resources. Fertile soil, which shows you how many crops can be planted. And difficulty. What farming level is required to expand? Okay, so let's look at the land expansion loop. The land expansion gameplay loop at its core is based on an engaging, reinforcing loop of a player collecting resources to expand their land, to then discover and collect more resources. As a player expands, it becomes increasingly more difficult to gather resources to expand to the next piece of land. This creates an autotelic, autotelic experience with emergent and long-lasting gameplay. I have seen it already, by the way. You have sent this a long time. And here's the thing, Nando. I've said this. I say the same thing that I said to when I talked before to Wolfie. For your idea, go over to the GitHub, put it into the discussions, and then have it so that people can comment on it. Let's start it as a discussion. So the idea here is that if you've got an idea like this, get community feedback, which is great, and then go over, add it as the discussion, and then people can talk about it. And if it's something that people want, because if you've got an idea, this is great, but what we need to ensure is that other people like the idea as well. We need to have both the good and the bad for this. So please put it over onto the GitHub. Let's have a talk about it in the discussions, and then we'll be able to go from there. So, yeah, no need to be sorry about it, mate. I love the fact that you've got these ideas. What this conversation today is going to do is it's going to start firing off the synapses. You're going to start thinking, "Oh my god, this is great," or "I've got this idea," or "I've got this concept." One of the best ways I get ideas is when I'm like in the shower and I'm thinking about stuff. I sometimes just sit in the shower and I'm like, oh my God, this is an amazing idea, or what an idea. So I take my phone into the shower with me, and I often just voice note and record things. I get some of my best ideas when I'm kind of just zoned out. And it normally happens after a session like this, because this is really creative. It gets you to start thinking about things. So if you have these amazing ideas, either go and have a shower or just go onto the Discord and start getting the ideas. We've already talked about biomes. Biomes is a great idea. Go and have a chat about it. And again, before you start a discussion, please put the subject into the search and see if anyone else is talking about it. Okay? All right, so let's go back. We're going to talk about the land expansion loop. So, the land expansion gameplay loop at its core is based on an engaging, reinforcing loop of a player collecting resources to expand their land, to discover and collect more resources. As a player expands, it becomes increasingly more difficult to gather resources to expand to the next piece of land. This creates an autotelic experience with emergent and long lasting gameplay. A player has the choice between crafting an item with the resources to gather buffs or to expand their land to discover more resources. A player must balance these decisions if they wish to have a bountiful and efficient farm. Someone's just said, are we going to list SFL on Binance? No, we have no interest at the moment. We have applied for a listing on Coinbase. That is not because we want to be listed on Coinbase. We don't actually want to be on any centralized exchange right now. We want to keep the liquidity on QuickSwap. However, there is a mutual benefit to Coinbase where we could have the ability for people to be able to deposit in game using a Coinbase wallet or a MetaMask wallet. And so we need the listing for that. So we are applying for a listing on Coinbase, but that is for a suite. It is not just the listing, it is the listing. It is also to integrate the Coinbase wallet into the game, and it is to allow Coinbase Pay, which will allow people to deposit directly into the game. So the idea is you'll have a pop-up in game and a menu, and you click on it and deposit Matic directly onto your you would deposit SFL directly onto your farm from your bank account or your credit card. Okay, so let's continue. Any other questions I'll go through later, but I want to stay focused on this. So let's have a look. I'm going to post this image. Okay, so this is the idea that you've got your land generates resources. You then need to make a decision. Do you craft an item to get a buff, or do you expand your land? If you craft an item, then you increase the gathering, more resources. Craft an item buff, gather more resources to the point where you run out of resources, and then you need to expand your land to increase the resources. All right. This does not include the resource sinks for crafting buildings and rare items. Can you buy the resources for this deal from anywhere instead of crafting them? You'll be able to buy the resources from other players. Something to think about. There is going to be a huge demand for resources in this game. A huge demand. What you need to decide, are you going to sell your valuable resources to other players, or are you going to use them yourself? Yes, exactly. Make a spreadsheet, execute, and then find out you miscalculated pretty much everything. There we go. But that's the purpose of the spreadsheet, right? This is really good that you learn this though and you understand this, right? At the moment, you can't buy them right now, but you will be able to in the future. So just give it time. Give it time. This is all conceptual right now and it's all being built out. Let's look at buildings. All right, I want to talk about buildings. Does everyone understand? Like, land's really simple. Land is really simple. You basically discover new land, get new resources, use those resources to discover new land. Every time you increase your land, it becomes progressively harder to get more land. Okay, there's a lot to go into that right now, but that's a starting point. Let's look at buildings. Buildings are a cornerstone of your farming empire that will enable you to collect certain resources to increase your water supply, apply certain buffs, unlock new gameplay elements, and decorate your farm. Concept design. To unlock new features, a player must construct certain buildings. These includes markets, furnaces, chicken houses, water wells, and more. As a player progresses, they will have a variety of different buildings and paths that they can follow. A building is a placeable object, and for the purpose of discussion, includes static structure items like scarecrows, beavers, etc. Think of a beaver like a building. Okay? The key building types include shops, buildings that enable players to buy new seeds, tools, or to craft certain items. Sources, buildings that are a source of items, i.e., the water well, which will provide water, or the quarry that will provide stone. Also, consider there'll be the lumber yard. There's going to be different buildings that have different uses. Buffs, buildings that serve to increase the ability, i.e., the scarecrow, which will improve crop supply. All right, so let's look at the building gameplay loop. Again, I'm going to post this in the farmer's chat. A nice simple one for you. The idea here is that you have your building. Okay, that increases the ability to earn resources. So you gather more resources. You can then use some of those resources into the building, but also you'll need to get those resources into SFL to go into the building because you'll need resources and SFL into the building to create the ability to earn more resources. Here's the loop. All right. Buildings are primarily seen as long term investments that players must strategically decide when to construct. The above loop does not explore sinks and it is for decorative. The above loop does not explore sinks for decorative buildings. Okay. It's just an example. So, hopefully that makes sense. We've covered a lot today. We've covered a lot. But does that make sense what we've gone through so far? Do you understand the game design? Do you understand what we've talked about in terms of the user journey, the learning, the regular, the mastery? Do you understand what we talked about in terms of the context of the visual style and the audio style? Do you understand the narrative and the backstory? Do you understand the gameplay loops and the difference between balancing and reinforcing loops? Do you understand the core game loop that we talked about, the land and the farmer? Do you understand the more detailed game loop that we talked about, adding more sinks? Do you understand the farmer profile picture we talked about, the idea of clothing and experience, how water stamina is going to play into this? Do you understand the land expansion that we talked about and the idea of resources being able to expand your land? And do you understand the concept of buildings and how you'll be able to craft and build buildings that will allow you to grow? I want to make sure you understand we've gone through a lot. Right, ladies and gentlemen, now is your time. Do you have any questions? Do you have anything you want me to cover? Anything you want me to go through before we end this mammoth session that's been going on for 3 hours now? To the 161 of you that are still here. Manna says, no, I don't understand it, but I love it. That's all that matters. There will be an exam later. There will. And there'll be an NFT for those of you that pass. That will be in the form of your land expansion and your profile picture. The idea is we want to make this simple. We want to make this simple. It's got to be simple enough that you achieve all of these things without thinking about it. What you kind of now know is what's going on in the background. Understand that this level of transparency is normally the kind of thing that goes on behind the scenes. Normally, this is what game designers and game developers talk about with each other as part of the team. But what we don't normally do is involve the community at this deep level of conversation. But we want you to understand what's going on and what's happening. You're part of this. This is your game. You're involved. And so you don't have to know everything that's going on. You don't have to know. But if you want to know, then the information is there and it's available for you. And I recommend you take some time, look through the docs, read everything, and just bring yourself up to speed. And if you have any questions, now is the time. Now is the time in this conceptual phase for you to be able to address any concerns, faults, fears, feedback, anything, good or bad. Now is the time for you to be able to be involved. And I urge you, I really do urge you to consider using the GitHub discussions as a way to be able to get your concepts heard by the community. All these game loops is very similar to the indie game called Forager. Can't believe it took me this long to notice. Please explore it and hopefully take some information for it. Some inspiration from it. Definitely, I will do, Rook. Thank you. Steve, how much material does it cost to expand? That's a question that can't be answered right now. One, I don't know. We haven't worked that out yet. This is much more about laying the foundations as to what the end results look like. When will this gameplay be applied? Great question, John. So let's just have a quick look back at the documents, okay, and let's go and look at the roadmap that we posted. Okay, if we look at the roadmap, you can see the kind of stuff that's happened already. We can look at the 6-month roadmap, okay, and we can see where we are. We talked about chickens. We've just had chickens out. Land expansion, okay. The estimation is around October. Around October. So we currently know at the moment that we're in June. Okay, we're around the end of June. So we have July, which will be 1 month, August, which is 2 months, September, which is 3 months, and then we're going into October. So we're looking at 3 to 4 months. 3 to 4 months. There is a lot of work that needs to be done here. Now you're going to have cakes. Cakes is going to be 10 weeks, which is 2.5 months. All right. So at the end of Cakes, we're then going to have the Goblin War, between the Great War between goblins and sunflower farmers. All right. So we've got these two events: the cake crafting, and we also have the Goblin War. Now we're going to be releasing things between now and then. There'll be more NFTs. There will be things that will launch. But this is what I want you to understand. This is what I want you to understand. Yes, you can expect a Halloween event. We will look into that. Yes, we will be doing events in the future. Definitely. What I want you to understand, and I'm asking, please, please do this for me. Okay, I'm asking, this is a personal favor that I'm asking you from me. Please understand that the dev team, the core dev team, are full, literally full on right now, building, designing, and working to make land expansion. This is going to take all of them the next 4 months, 3 to 4 months, to get this over the line to where we're proud and where you'll be happy with it. The more time and the more focus they can put on this, the better it will be. We all want and we all need this. But the more time that the team take away from this is the less time they've got to work on it. So here is my ask. This is what I'm asking from you. The team are working incredibly hard right now. They need a break, they need a rest. They're not going to, they're going to continue working for you. What I'm asking is that as a community, can you please look after yourselves and be patient? We want all of these things. We want all of this great stuff. There will be an element, of boredom. There will be. Please, please understand that what you are currently playing, the version you are playing, is a sandbox for the version that is going to come. I really need you, and I'm asking you, and everybody, the team needs you to be patient. Please, please be patient. And what that means, what patience means, is that you're not asking for constant updates and features and fixes and things. If something's broken, the team will get to it. If something's broken, the team will fix it. That will become a priority. If something needs fixing and it's broken, the team will fix it. But if there's something like mutant crops or tractors or anything like that, just please, please be patient. All right? Just at the moment, for example, we know that you need a way to trade player to player. That's being added to the game. But know that in order to build that, it distracts the team from the land expansion that they want to focus on. So the less we can distract people, the more they're going to be able to focus on this. So that is my only ask. I'm asking you for patience. I'm asking you for the next few months, right? And when I say months in crypto, for a lot of you, you can't think that far ahead. You don't understand what a month is, all right? A lot of you, I understand this is difficult. This is going to be hard, all right? There's going to be a lot of anxiety. There's going to be a lot of fear and FOMO. All right. But please, please understand that if you want something in the game and it's not there yet, it's because the team are busy focusing on all of these incredible things that we've talked about today. Okay? Is that a deal? Are we happy? Can we all agree together to give the team some space to be able to build this? I think you can all see the vision here. Hopefully I've articulated this for you today in a way that makes it easy to understand. There's a lot. We've talked about a lot. All right, so to end this stream, to finish this stream, what I would like you to do, if you like, what you've seen so far, if all of this makes sense, I would just like you to do a little at sign. Type in the name Adam and then put "We love you." At Adam, we love you. You love what he's doing. You can tag him. You can tag him. I'm giving you permission. You can tag him. If you love anyone else, you can tag them too. Don't forget, you've also got Romy, you've got Spencer, and you've got Craig. You can tag any of them. Tell them you love them. If you love a mod, tell the mods too. This is an amnesty. You have a one-time ability to tag people without being told off. If you love them, tag them. Let them know you appreciate them. The team are working so hard, incredibly hard. Okay, I appreciate you. Thank you so much, Nikes. I love you too, man. Let's spread some love, right? We've got an incredible roadmap. We've got an incredible team. There is so much going on right now. You need to trust this process, okay? That is amazing. That chat looks incredible. This is fire. Ah, Just Jay, I love your girlfriend too. Wait, what? No, I love my girlfriend. Yes. Chicken, yep, love chicken, love roulette, love all the moderators, every single one of them. I love everyone that gives us feedback. I love the people that challenge us. I love the people who make us laugh. I love the people who frustrate me. I love everybody because you all help me to grow as a person. And that's what this community is all about. I love this community. I love the DGens. I am a DGen. Ah, look at Spencer. He's here. Spencer's here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to post this. Okay, I'm going to combine the two of them, put it onto YouTube. Now, we will do this again. Okay, I will do this again. The purpose of today was as a run through to see how this lands. There's a lot of content, a lot of content. So I will stream this. I will speak to Adam. I will see if we can get the team to do an AMA. All right. And we'll talk about this and we'll get their feedback. We'll get some of you on board as well. And we will do this on Twitch. Okay. We'll do a stream on Twitch. We'll invite everybody and we'll cover all of this again. Not now. We'll build it out. Give us a little bit more time to build this out. And once we've got it a little bit more succinct and a little bit more, maybe some more little alpha peaks for you, then yes, we will do this again on Twitch and we'll have a version of this. But as a run through, we know it takes about 3 hours to cover this content. This was a lot of content today, a lot of content. And so don't worry if you're overwhelmed, take your time. Again, I'm going to post one more time for you, just the link. All right, there you go. That's for the docs. So you just go onto the docs, check them out. There's been a lot of work done on the documents recently. So please, please, please make sure you check them out. Make sure you understand the roadmap. The special events are on there. You've also got the information about the animals. You've now got the game design. A lot of content. A lot of content. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. I can't tell you how much I appreciate the love, everything that you've been sharing. And it makes a difference. I promise you now. The team, they see this. You know, Spencer's already seen this. Chicken's there. I know Romy's there. Adam, they'll see this. This will light a fire under their arse. It will make them work harder than they already are, which isn't really even possible, but this will inspire and motivate them. And so, please, all I ask is as a community, keep up this positive energy, keep up this love, keep up this good spirits, give the team some space, allow them to work on land expansion. They'll keep delivering, they will keep pushing out things to keep you engaged so you don't get bored. But hopefully, together here, you can appreciate what we're building, and hopefully you can see how incredible this space is. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much, each and every one of you. S2LKR says, have a little more faith in us as well. We do have a great community. Personally, been waiting for my VIP role for over a month. You can get it in the game now. If you want your VIP role, go in the game. It works. You can go in. You should see the red door. If you've got a tier 3 item and your farm, then you can do that. Really enjoy SFL and all the team is doing. Adam, appreciate the great work. Thank you very much, S2LKR. I appreciate you. We are so grateful to everyone in the team. Can't forget the moderators. Yeah, absolutely agree. Jam the line. Amazing. All right, it's amazing to read this. Thank you. So many of you. It's great. Do-do-do. Love you guys. All right. Take care, everyone. I will speak to you all soon. Cheers. Bye bye.